Blue Beetle barely beat Wonder Woman 84 at the height of COVID with half the theaters. The theaters could not fill at full capacity, and Blue Beetle barely beat it.
Wonder Woman also released on digital the same day.
With the day and date release, it beat it by $5 million on that weekend.
Let's be honest, Blue Beetle never had a chance.
Never had a fucking chance.
No.
It was doomed. Aquaman 2 is going to be the very first cinematic box office plop. Sorry.
Hey!
Nerdrotic.com.
After Blue Beetle, I do not think Aquaman is going to do over 400 million now.
No, it's going to, I think hitting 300 million will be a miracle.
I don't think Blue Beetle's going to hit 200 million worldwide.
No.
I don't think it's going to get that.
No, Amber, and then, dude, even without Amber Heard, Aquaman 2 is going to flop.
Yes.
With Amber Heard, it's going to massively flop, and people are going to actively, nobody actively was going to hate Blue Beetle. Like, we're like, whatever, it's pandering, it's exploiting a very specific sect of Americans. Americans, by the way, Mexican Americans who live near the border. Not sure how that's going to play to the rest of the world, but doesn't matter. Whatever. Nobody was coming out going to. But people are going to freaking want to hate on Aquaman 2 for good reason because it's got Amber Turd.
I don't think there's anything wrong with making a film directed towards Mexican Americans. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
But you also have to understand that if that's what you're going to do, then you must adjust your budgets accordingly. You can't pump 120 million plus into the budget of a fucking film, say that you're pandering towards an audience, and expect it to have a widespread appeal. It doesn't work.
I'll tell you exactly where they fucked up. This can go to Manuel Soto, whatever his name is. There was no fucking gratitude in that movie. And living in Southern California and growing up, there's a lot more gratitude from the people who were there because they fled fucking terrible situations for a scary situation with their family. They're not documented. They're working, but the vast majority of them are grateful. They're like, oh, I wouldn't change a thing. I love it here. And we didn't hear any of that. We didn't fucking hear any of that. If you would have balanced it out, probably would have been better off. Would have made a good movie? No, because you just put like Iron Man and and Mulder pointed this out, Captain Marvel of all things, and put it in a blender where the hero gets saved by his annoying as hell family.
By the way, chat, if you haven't seen Blue Beetle, there is a running theme with Blue Beetle throughout the film, and that is whatever they want to call the suit, symbiotic, whatever. The suit is a killing machine, but Jamie doesn't want to kill. So he always resists killing until the suit and him merge brainwaves, and then the suit understands not to kill. I'm not gonna kill. It goes the way that Jamie's been thinking the whole time. So never in the film does Jamie kill anyone, because that is one of his journeys is he's taking control of the suit as opposed to the suit controlling him, and he brings his morals to the suit so they don't kill. His family mass murder shitloads of people in this film. His grandma kills at least 20 people. Fucking his uncle's walking around in the Blue Beetle scarab thing, and it's just knifing people. And they're laughing and going, ha ha, 20 points.
Yeah, when
what is the point? Why are you having a fucking moral about not killing while your whole family's massacring people?
That whole shit with the suit stopping him because it's synced with him doesn't make sense, by the way, because in that moment, if it were synced with him, it would have him kill the guy.
Well, I think look, I might be giving the film way too much credit here, Mauler, but I think the film was trying to say when they synced together, Jamie had the dominant moral whatever high ground so the suit was like
so you know where they did this better was a little film called Spider-Man No Way Home, where Tom Holland wants to execute Green Goblin. He's going to, here he goes, stab, and then he's stopped, and then he has to stare at Tobey Maguire's face that's basically telling him, do you want to do this? Is this the decision you want to make?
It's brilliant.
And he gets to think about it, and then he gets to pull away. Instead, in this, the robot is like, you don't want to do this.
Right?
Jamie, we do not kill.
But I was just confused. I was like, I thought the robot was on board with killing, and if it's not because it's in sync with him, then it would be on board with killing because now he's on board with killing.
And by the way, folks, just to really shit all over your face, when Jamie doesn't kill the bad guy at the end and allows him to live, and the bad guy sort of all these repressed memories, PTSD memories come flooding back of this hardship that he's had, that it was brought up as a kid to murder in the jungles and all this kind of stuff. And then he realizes that he's a Mexican, a proud Mexican man. He then goes and murders the white woman right next to them.
And Jaime allows it.
Yeah. He just leaves it.
He does, because they fucked up. They're only. It's a very superficial understanding of like what does it mean for heroes to not kill? Because you wouldn't catch a fucking. Well, you will in the new version, but you wouldn't catch Daredevil being like, I won't kill, but I will happily watch all of my friends kill everyone. That's fine.
So this is the second lowest opening in the DCEU, except it's the lowest because you can't really count Wonder Woman. So like it beat the lowest by 5 million.
So,
again, a movie that was released on streaming the same day in half the theaters, 2,000 theaters, with about an average of 10% capacity. So it's the lowest. Since Endgame, there's been from Marvel, and when I say Marvel, I'm talking about Sony too. So anything a Marvel property and a DC property, there's been 20 films. Not counting the 8 live action D+ shows. And then, of course, there's Peacemaker, and I'm probably forgetting something else. But that's connected to those universes. So not counting the peripheral superhero movies, there's been more, but there's been 20 for Marvel and DC since Endgame. Since that time, there has been 3 $1 billion superhero films that have cracked $1 billion. One was The Joker, which Warner Brothers couldn't give a fuck about and ended up not making very much money off of because they didn't give a crap about it. The other two are Spider-Man movies from Sony, meaning 0 have come from Disney since Endgame. 0. We got one that got close, which probably had a lot to do with No Way Home. It came out right after No Way Home, which was Doctor Strange.
And after that absolutely rocket weekend, boy, did the brakes go on.
Yep. And then you have Guardians 3, which, depending on who you talk to, pretty well-received movie, did horrible its first weekend, had some pretty good legs down the road, still did not beat its predecessor, Guardians 2. Then you had a Batman movie in there that didn't even sniff $1 billion.
No.
The Batman.
Three quarters.
Yeah. That was a disappointment to Warner Brothers. They put $200 million into that, by the way. That's a $200 million budget. So $600 million to break even.
Yeah, probably.
So it made $150 million. You don't spend $200 million and then another, another $150 million in marketing to make $150 million. That's not what you do. So that's why we have a DC for anybody who is a fan of the Batman.
It's an undisciplined film, though.
It didn't help. It actually led to the reboot. The only reason it's getting a sequel, if it gets a sequel, is it's political capital. They have to grease a lot of palms and massage a lot of feelings. And basically they're like, it did well enough to get a sequel. They're not going to continue it though. They're just not. After that, it'll be done. And then they'll focus on their brand new Batman that they're going to reboot again. They're fucking dead. Yeah. This is a bad strategy. This is a horrible strategy. And do
you know what it is? It is so confusing for audiences.
Yeah. Like when we look back on it, we're gonna go, it was dead when they got rid of Henry Cavill.
Yes.
They just never.
Well, a lot of us actually said that at the time, so I think we could pull those clips of us saying it, to be honest with you. But as soon as there was a sense of renewed hope when Henry Cavill said he was going to be returning as Superman, and then boy, when he said no, sorry, I think that just deflated so many people.
That combined with the announcement of what projects they're focusing on, that's a 1-2 punch, isn't it?
So underwhelming. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Which is this is like the worst time in history to be doing this. You can't be fucking around. Like the whole world is tired of superhero shit.
We've got an 8-year plan. How about you just have a 1-film plan?
Superheroes don't have 8 years.
No.
No.
They don't.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
Hey, if you like what we do here at Nerdrotic Daily, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you could do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.